Welcome to another Pure Kali trip report, this time on Korean Air A380 in first class, Incheon to Sydney. Korean Air has announced they'll be resuming the operations of Airbus 380 to meet the post-COVID travel demand. So I wasn't originally going to upload this, but I decided to just to kind of remind everyone what it was like to fly on Korean Air Airbus 380. All Korean Air business class, first class and any high-tier members of SkyTeam can use a special premium check-in area, but only first class passengers can use a specialized first class check-in waiting room. I moved myself into a viewing deck in a Terminal 2 in Incheon Airport. It also has a little museum-like place where it tells you about the history and the development of the Incheon Airport since its opening in 2001. Next up is a first class lounge. Unfortunately, I didn't take that much video this time because I was a bit short on time, so I replaced with the photos. If you want more detailed tour of first class lounge, please refer to my Incheon to London video. Soon it was time to board and I made my way down to Airbus 380. There is a dedicated first class boarding bridge and there are only 3 passengers in the cabin today. The Korean Airbus 380 has a one generation behind or Cosmos Suite version 1.0, the main difference being the lack of sliding door that makes the seat more private. I've tried a Cosmos version 2, but after I tried this Airbus 380, I actually much more prefer this open style design, because I found the Cosmos Suite version 2 to be somewhat claustrophobic. It has a nice wood grain finish with a signature Korean Air teal or blue color, if you like. And there are plenty of storage area around the seat. And unlike the version 2 Cosmos Suite, a lot of these compartments are actually usable. On version 2 seat, a lot of compartment was actually very narrow and deep, so you could hardly store anything there. There are plenty of space underneath the ottoman to even probably store your carry-on luggage, and there's plenty of control for your seat, including the privacy screen, and you can also tilt your headrest as well. Soon it was time to push back, and next to our gate was a Korean Air 747-8i in special paint scheme. Korean Air has been operating 747-8i during pandemic, but one of them has been actually converted into a Korean version of Air Force One, which started flying recently just a few months ago. And now we're seeing the beautiful GP7200 coming to its life to start its 10-hour trip down to Sydney. Just a quick note on Korean Airline safety video, which you have heard a snippet of just now. It's mainly featuring this K-pop group that Korean Air supposedly invested in. It's very distracting and not very entertaining at all. However, the previous video was more than 10 years old, or probably even approaching 20 years, so it had to be replaced. I got a new full-frame camera just before this trip, and I'm happy to say it seems like this camera has done an amazing job of capturing this night scene at the airport with the orange-colored lights. We taxied to a runway that was furthest away possible from the Terminal 2, which I'm not complaining given that I was flying in first class today. There was no aircraft waiting, and it was only just Air Canada 787 in front of us. So in no time, we entered the runway and was ready to take off. Now I'll let you enjoy a quiet and gentle GP7200. Unusually, this flight took a different route over Korea. Instead of kind of going diagonally across Korea and exiting via Busan, this time it kind of flew east to west in horizontal fashion. And this allowed me to get a very beautiful view, a night view of Seoul City. This is a little canal that connects from Incheon to Seoul. This is Gimpo Airport, the previous international airport before Incheon. This is a financial district called Yeouido, as well as a Korean National Assembly on the left at around the 9 o'clock direction. This is the tallest building in Korea called Lotte Tower, along with the Lotte Wall, which is the second biggest indoor theme park in the world. Before long it was dinner time, and you can kind of see we haven't even made out of Korea and they started serving dinner already. So there was like 2 entrees, one was like entree proper I guess, and there was a foie gras. I apologize for my pronunciation. And then I opted for a Korean main meal. So just before the main meal I got a porridge, so I guess it's like a third entree if you like. And for the actual main I had a stuffed Korean chicken stew, the nutritional chicken stew that you get usually in summertime. As you can see, the presentation is amazing and all the dishes and everything are beautiful. It tasted pretty good too. The only thing I wish was Korean Air brought some of this fanciness down to the business class, because most of the time they're just rotating between a steak and bibimbap, which is a mixed rice. Confusingly, there's no Korean dessert course, so you still get cheese, you still get fruits, and you still get Haagen-Dazs ice cream. So, not that I'm complaining, I love cheese, but that's how I finish my meal. Now that my stomach was full, it was time for sleep. Korean Air has a mattress cover and a decent doona and very comfortable pillow for first class passengers. Again, I wish some of these has trickled down to the business class in Korean Air. The seat was so comfortable, I actually didn't have much time to explore the other parts of the aircraft like business class lounge or first class lounge, although I did take this one single photo. And it was already breakfast time, and I opted for more Western meal this time. And I wasn't really sure, and I was actually a bit worried, but I decided to go with a French toast, and it was actually fine. It was soft, it wasn't too soggy at all. It felt like it was almost made on flight, fresh. Soon it was time for landing, and the aircraft was making multiple turns as it makes these beautiful dancing windows. As they usually do in the morning, it took the sudden approach over Royal National Park and turning left to line up with the usual runway 34 left. As expected, this Airbus 380 made a very gentle and smooth and quiet landing. Just like that, my flight ended and it was time for me to go to work. Interestingly, they used I Call Australia Home as the arrival music, which obviously Qantas use extensively in their TV or YouTube advertising. Anyways, thanks for watching my video again, and I will come back with more interesting trip reports in the future. Please don't forget to subscribe and like my video.
Thank you for choosing
Thank you.
Korean Air, a member of SKY team, and we hope to see you again.